Of all of the challenges and outrages of my own immigrant youth, I think nothing was harder than spending years having people become incredibly angry because I spoke with a thick accent, having people reject me because they thought my English wasn't good enough, having people ascribe character, moral condition, and intelligence based on the way I spoke English. And I think that nothing was harder when I was young, and very little is said about the great difficulties and the great challenges and the great accomplishments that we face and that we enact when we raise our voice and when we learn to have ourselves understood. We're currently building monuments to all sorts of people in this country, and I think that's a good thing, yeah? But there needs to be a monument to immigrants in this country, probably 25 miles high, because nothing else can begin to describe what we have given to this country and what we have sacrificed and what we have endured to be here. Yeah. Now, I think that one of the things that we begin to understand is that if you're like me, I was an immigrant and I primarily grew up around children and women. The face for me of immigration was primarily children and women. Already the two most vulnerable and politically maligned sectors of our society. Already two groups who have found great difficulty in having their voices heard. We who have fought and we who have struggled so much to have our voices heard in this country discover a neat little trick. Because even when we learn to speak English in ways that don't offend the majority, what you discover is that we spend the rest of our lives as immigrants trying to have ourselves understood and trying to have ourselves heard. The experiences of a recent immigrant learning English is the experience of all immigrants in this country historically. We have always been misunderstood and we have always been maligned and rejected just for who we are. And learning English is for me only part of the larger journey of continuing this struggle of having ourselves heard and having ourselves understood. And part of that is organizing as immigrants to defend our rights and defend our integrity, and most important of all, to defend our superhuman achievements in this country. To be an immigrant means that you a priori, to begin with, are already a superpower. And we have folks who are organizing actively and creating political parties aimed at our destruction, aimed at the destruction and the debasement of immigrant communities. We must understand that voting is fundamentally important, but it will not be enough. When people who despise everything that we as immigrants stand for are organizing against us, we must organize in turn. Folks are talking about building a wall in this country, and that wall is the enemy and stands in, that wall is an enemy of who we are as immigrants, but in many ways stands in as a concrete symbol of the hate that we immigrants face. If folks want to organize politically around building a wall, we must organize politically to build a bridge.
Yeah.
We must build a bridge. Let the agents of fear and hate talk endlessly about their walls, and we who have given so much to this country, we who are the essence of this country, we who are this country, will talk about the bridge. And we shall see whose vision will survive into the future. We shall see what the future really needs, wall or bridge.